This week on New to You, Hot Hot Hot, Part 4, Tropicalia, the musical genre. Hey everybody, welcome to the fourth in our series of Hot Hot Hot. It is spicy in this booth and we are ready to give you the end of our flame.
Muy caliente.
I'm one of your hosts, John Holt. With me is
Keith Vincent, one of your other hosts.
And your other host, Julian Cage. And with us,
Special guest
host,
Adam Mater.
All right, welcome back, Adam.
It's good
this
to have you,
won't
man.
be the last time.
Thanks. No, this will not be the
Cross
last
mics.
time. You haven't seen the last of me.
Unless you're listening to this podcast, in
unless
which case
you're
you've
on
never seen him.
Chewing gum. That'll be it.
My face will be on the next episode.
Yeah. On the cover. So we've covered quite a few things with Hot Hot Hot. This is a rate and review podcast where we take a topic and everyone brings something new to the table. May not be brand spanking new, but it's a new experience that we would recommend to you, and we kind of chat through it. So getting into the spirit on that, Keith has got our topic, or our pickup for this topic. Keith, why don't you take it away?
A Virgem diz que não, e o anúncio da televisão estava escrito no portão, e o maestro que além da porta ao correio.
So there were a bunch of things I wanted to talk about for Hot Hot Hot, but for some reason I was having trouble choosing one thing. There was this book I really wanted to talk about, but it was just too long.
yeah,
It's
we
a
were
long
like,
book.
reading, we don't really do that.
I had read that book. Well, I almost
Yeah.
was like, Keith didn't recommend a book. I have a book of the same length to recommend.
But what was that book called? What were we talking about?
The Wind-Up Girl?
Yeah, The Wind-Up Girl. Very, very hot. It's like every second paragraph in that book is describing how sweaty and hot everything is.
And just greasy.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, it's
It's a dystopian
what happens
future.
is like the president of the United States pulls out of the Paris Climate Accords
Yeah.
and everything falls apart.
Yep. And then before you know it, you have genetically engineered elephants that are basically the power source for everything.
Makes
It's
sense.
wild. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I decided to talk about a musical. To call it a genre is weird because it's very short-lived, and I think the closest thing the word I would use to describe it is a movement called Tropicalia from Brazil in the late '60s, early '70s, or Tropicalia. I'm gonna butcher a lot of names here, so for people who know anything about Brazilian Portuguese, I apologize right away. All these words, all these names and things, I'm gonna do poorly, and I apologize. Hopefully, there's some information that you can glean from it and enjoy.
Wikipedia does call it an artistic movement.
There we go. What I'm going to be discussing is the musical aspect of the Tropicalia movement. There was an artistic movement along with it. There's some literature as well. What I'm going to be discussing is a very set point in time with only a very finite set of albums and musicians that make up this movement, because it did have a very definitive beginning, a middle, and an end. And it very quickly evolved to something else because of the situation that occurred. When I was messing around on the internet, I stumbled across these like bossa nova versions of these Rolling Stones songs. I think it was called Bossa and Stones, was this kind of neat compilation record of these modern day Brazilian artists doing bossa nova versions of Rolling Stones songs. I thought that they were really fun and clever, and I kind of kept digging, and I got to this song called Águas de Marcos, which was a Brazilian song, but from the 70s, which I would recommend everyone listen to. It's very amazing. And then that sent me down another hole where I ended up getting into some old samba stuff, some old bossa nova, and then I landed on this really interesting moment in time in Brazilian pop music called Tropicalia. Like I had mentioned, it was kind of an artistic movement, and it was kind of a butting up against this at the time in Brazil in the late 60s, early 70s. There was a very kind of right-wing regime kind of controlling everything. Very religious, very traditional. Resistance movement took many shapes, and one of them is Tropicalia. That sounds all very heavy. The music itself, this is what I found so fascinating. When I first discovered this music, I was just like, oh my gosh, this stuff is so much fun. It's all like really amazing rhythms, very interesting like structures and just really neat use of rhythms and counter rhythms, really interesting uses of juxtapositions of almost like jingles, TV commercial type of music alongside traditional Brazilian sounds, alongside Afrobeat kind of guitar use. It's just this amazing amalgam of sounds, along with just one of my favorite things to hear language-wise is Brazilian Portuguese. I just feel like is one of the most amazing sounding languages, other than hearing myself speak, which you guys can, I'm sure, attest is one of my favorite things to do. I was listening to these Brazilian songs, and Os Mutantes might be the one that people have heard of most. They've kind of become, they were around before the outbreak of Tropicalia, and they've been around after as well. They were kind of like the popular band that helped to kind of push this group. This group of artists forward, lending their kind of great, neat talent along the way. But what were you going to say, Holt?
I was going to say they were, because Tropicalia is pretty, like it's kind of started in 1957. Like that's like in and around that area, like in the late 50s is when it like those are the early roots.
Well, that might be the roots of the of the movement itself, of the artistic.
Right. But Os Mutant, but in terms of like Blackboard Jungle came in, they started doing like there were some like Brazilian covers of a track from Blackboard Jungle, and then that like the use, and they were already using electric guitars, but going into the 60s, like Os Mutantes were a psychedelic rock band, and like Tropicalia is part of like using pop, like what are the three words? Depersonalization, dechronication, and dynamism.
Out of place.
Yeah, like basically the effects of LSD, using non-Western instruments, or non-traditional instruments for your culture, desynced effects, electronic effects, all these things layered to kind of like put you in a different state of being and mind. And that's kind of like all the stuff you're like describing out is in play.
Well, I will say that the key to what ties together all these things that considers itself Tropicalia is a concept called anthropophagia, which basically means it's a form of cultural cannibalism, where the concept is take any form of culture that you like, that you're as much as you can get, as much as you can gobble up, and then see what comes out, and that really makes itself very apparent in the music. What I consider the beginning of the Tropicalia musical movement is the record Tropicalia that came out in 1967, I believe. Basically, it's considered like a kind of like an artist's statement of what would be the tropicalismo musical genre. The key members of it are, like I mentioned, Os Mutantes, the band that a lot of people might be familiar with, has influenced lots and lots of bands, especially in the 90s. But two of the main voices that one might associate with it is a fellow named Caetano Veloso and a fellow named Gilberto Gil or Gilberto Gil. I'm not certain if I've heard it pronounced both ways. These three are kind of the songwriting force. I mean, there are other people that are in and out, but these guys have their fingers in almost all of it. And there are a couple of other people. Tom Z is a fella associated with them. Gal Costa is kind of the little sister of the movement. She kind of got her start there, and her career kind of took off a little bit after. But to hear the music, it's really interesting because it kind of reminds me of just that concept of cultural appropriation as it does now is kind of rubs people the wrong way. And so because of that, the Tropicalistas were kind of nobody really liked them. I mean, musically people liked them, but the right disapproved because they felt like they weren't playing traditional. Like, that's not what Brazilian music should sound like. And the left didn't like them because that's not what the left is supposed to, like, that's not what you're supposed to sound like if you're protesting this. You're using the national anthem, that's crazy. But what's surprising is when you hear the music, I don't speak the language, so I don't understand a lot of, the lyrics, but you would never think that any of this is at all subversive. But apparently all of it is. And it became so subversive that actually Caetano Veloso and Gilberto Gil were imprisoned at one point for several months, and then they were exiled to London until the 70s when they were able to return. Like I was saying, it's a very finite point in time. I think, what did I say, 67 was when the Tropicalia, 68 is when the Tropicalia record came out, also known as Panis e Circenses, but basically means bread and circus. When that record came out until 1972, when they were under house arrest, that pretty much killed everything. Like, that's that 4 years is when everything. Music is obviously an evolution, so there are things on the fringes that fit into the category musically, but that is what, where the guys are, the Tropicalistas are considered active. After that, they kind of had to, then there was just Caetano Veloso singing music. He wasn't no longer a Tropicalista. He was just a well-known singer. They were so oddly popular and unpopular at the same time, but Caetano Veloso has a really, they lost public protection during the certain, there was a show in I think 1969 at a concert in a university. You would think that would be the place to go if you wanted to, kind of make these kind of artistic statements. Caetano Veloso and Os Mutantes had a song called, Prohibidar, which basically means it's against the rules to make rules, which I think is a really neat statement. But during this, it was actually a music competition, and during this competition, he riled up the crowd so much that there was actually a riot. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, there's a really neat, rich history to this stuff that I took for granted for the longest time until doing just very little research. What's interesting is that this really neat, complicated music that I think is, like, very musically can be listened to today. I mean, today we're in a really neat period of mixing genres and blending and all these things. I feel like that's the same spirit that these guys were working in at the time. And still, some of the stuff that they came up with is just amazing. The way I would probably describe it is as what if they had made the Sgt. Pepper's record, but in your wheelhouse, in your library of influences was like samba and like Afrobeat. That's kind of where you would come up with these amazing, weird songs. So check it out. Some highlights that I would check out. The Bread and Circus song is really amazing. Parc Industrial, I don't know how you'd say it, Parc Industrial by Gilberto Gil is really great, and that's the song that they kind of turned the Brazilian national anthem at the time into like a TV jingle, and they really caught a lot of flack out of that. But again, out of context, it's just like a really neat, fun song that's just beautiful. Gal Costa, like, kind of breakout hit is called Baby Baby, written by Caetano Veloso. John Holt was playing us a version that Os Mutantes plays as well of that song, Baby. My favorite song by Os Mutantes to look out for is called Bat Macumba, and it's just a really bizarre song where they're saying some phrase that includes the word Bat Macumba, but then each time they say it, they take a syllable off until it just says, like, ah, and then they build it back up. So it's a really neat tune to check out and listen to.
Yeah, David Byrne did a compilation of their music. Like, because he has an international record label.
Yeah,
and he collected a bunch of their music, and it's a very, like, English-speaking centric. It's not like all the songs are in English,
Right.
but it's very like it's if you wanted a gateway in, then getting
Wow, I have to
this,
listen to that. I haven't heard any of the songs in
The
English.
name of it is Everything Is Possible.
Wow,
The Best
cool.
of Os Mutantes. And that's got it's got 2 versions of Baby. It's got my favorite Ave Lucifer is on there.
Oh,
like
cool.
that track's really fun.
Ave Lucifer.
Like
That's
it's
nice.
again that 60s like psychedelic rock.
Well, it's
feel
also
to
them
there.
saying like, "Hey, the Catholics are running this
Right,
place. We're going to kind of
exactly.
rub a little
Yeah.
salt in them." The real stars of this, though, I do believe, are Caetano Veloso and Gilberto Gil.
Well, Veloso was part of the Mutantes for a while too.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back. They all kind of
Right.
swapped parts in different times. Caetano Veloso, the song Tropicalia is just amazing. Y Prohibito Prohibidar is really great. Gilberto Gil, Luzia Luluza is a really just a nice, smooth little song. Prosisteo is really great. Domingo No Park is really neat because that's as like thinking of it like by today's standards, a lot of them kind of taking these really neat old traditional songs and kind of sampling them. That's kind of what Domingo No Parque is. It kind of sampled this really, really widespread traditional song from Brazil, which is actually I first became aware of it in the 90s with this movie called Only the Strong about capoeira, like this like capoeira action karate movie. That's the song where they go, capoeira, capoeira, capoeira. And he actually, he samples that and uses that. It's just, I mean, I feel like they were really ahead of their time. It all worked out for most of them, though while under house arrest, there was a tropicalista who did commit suicide. That was the real kind of tragedy behind it all. The backlash did actually have a tragedy. Go listen to the music, forget all the sad stuff, and listen to just how kind of like interesting and weird and ahead of their time this stuff is. And honestly, I can't think of a single song on any of the stuff that I've heard labeled Tropicalista that I'm just like, skip it. It's just all really interesting. You know, hopefully one day I will know enough about it to understand some of the stuff they're talking about because it's really, I think it would add a whole new layer. You know, just knowing that this stuff was so politically charged when I never would have assumed it was.
Right.
Added like a new layer of depth to it. And one day when I, figure out how to use the internet, maybe I'll learn what some of these songs are about.
Yeah, it was really neat to find that out because I had heard a lot of this stuff, was familiar with it, and really liked it. I really liked Os Mutantes, but yeah, I didn't know any of that history or meaning behind a lot of it. And I also, it's just one of those peculiar like place and time cultural things that like it's so interesting to me that the left.
Yeah.
The left, they were like very hardcore, like socialist leftists, and they were very serious. It sounds like in kind of like a boring sort of way, and I think that's probably what they were chafing against because it really surprised me that they had a problem with their music, and it was mostly because they saw it as being influenced, like they were super anti-Western capitalism.
Yeah.
They saw, obviously being socialists, they saw that as kind of the enemy. And so them embracing some of those elements was like they really rejected. And they were very nationalistic, which, like you don't normally always associate with the left. So it was just a different time for the left,
Yeah, it really was. But it reminds me of like, I was trying to think of like, golly, what? I can't even imagine something like that. But then I was like, oh, wait, the guys from South Park, I think, are pretty good in that they make the right just as upset as the left, I think. And whichever side of the aisle you're on, you kind of get riled up by them in different ways.
Yeah. Well, and I think just being that
Topical
strict.
and irreverent.
no, I meant the other side. Like, yeah, just being so strict and stiff, and it's just not cool.
Right, it's rigid.
Y Prohibido Prohibidir song. There's a lot there is a live recording of it when there was this like upheaval in kind of a riot, and there's a really neat. I mean, I don't understand any of it. Caetano Veloso gives this really neat speech in the middle of it, like you guys are supposed to be learning. This is not what a university is supposed to feel like. You're supposed to challenge yourself. All these kinds of statements that we take for granted now, and he was just saying them to the college attendees.
He's like, no more safe spaces.
Yeah. He's like, you're all snowflakes.
Yeah, we're in Kekistan now.
Yeah, you guys are all
It's Pepe the Frog. It's a meme.
Yeah. Pepe is a Brazilian frog.
But now I'm going to turn it over to any of you fellas. Had any of you been familiar with any of this before, or had you listened to the Beck song Tropicalia, which I think is really great as well, off of the Mutations, which may be a tip of the hat to the Mutantes. I don't know.
Most mutations.
Yeah, Mutations record's really good.
I listened to Os Mutantes before. I feel like we listened to them while like in school. Yeah, like we definitely did. And I remember because like I would like listen to it again or pull it up again. And Mary likes it, but she kind of groans a little bit because I think when they were doing when basically this compilation that David Byrne put together and sort of that presence, they came back in vogue in a big way in the like late 90s, like 99, 2000. And so when she was working on Waking Life, it was on constant rotation.
That's interesting.
And so it's like one of those, like you like it, but you're kind of sick of it a little bit.
Kind of like the Spin Doctors, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're assuming that someone can get sick of that, Jules.
They're also really subversive.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason they're still in prison with Chelsea Manning. Oh, she got out. Fuck. I wonder when they'll get their
Tim
chance.
Allen. Spin Doctors are so far left. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want.
But you know what? They'll take any notion and just kind of twist it into.
They got the kryptonite for anything.
That's right. They have they have pockets full of that shit.
In their Jenko jeans.
Why? But yeah, I really like this stuff. I like it.
Anything like kind of stand out that you heard that you would recommend?
Well, I mean, any of the Mutante stuff, I like it's fresh. It doesn't sound, this is stuff that, again, it's pop music, it's pop psychedelica, but it's also like South American pop psychedelica. So it's like 1960s music, but it doesn't sound like it's like folk.
People might have this idea of what psychedelica is too, and I feel like this doesn't necessarily fit that mold. It's the same kind of.
It fits within
the
pop.
Brazilian.
It's the Brazilian flair
Yeah.
of pop, but it still is pop. Like it has that pop psychedelic like mishmash. Like again, because the other aspect of pop was pulling in different influences and disorienting the listener in like a good way, like tweaking them, like the Doors maybe a little bit.
Yeah, like Animals or something.
Yeah.
Or who else is that? Or Zombies maybe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I kind of like about like some international music gets you get a lot more traditional kind of stuff. What's nice about this is it sounds like unique and fun, and it's not like Buena Vista Social Club. Everyone discovered it, but it just doesn't have the same flavor and sort of timelessness. Like it's it's kind of folky and traditional in a way where this isn't as much. Like because it's drawing on so many influences, it just seems lively and active. And the best part of it is that because we can't understand the language, which can be a detriment at parts. In this, it actually, like, yes, you may get deeper meaning if you understand what they're saying, but it makes their voices more instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
there's so many different voices that come into play, and the way that they sing is very important to the song. And so that becomes part of the instrumentation and the sounds and how they play with the sounds, like you're saying in Bat Muricardo.
Bat Mocambo.
Mocambo, like that playfulness, you may listen to the meaning and lose the playfulness unless you're hearing it as just like syllables and sounds and notes basically, which I really enjoy. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, I feel like I had aside from the Beck song, I remember like I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 years ago when I was still writing for Pitchfork, we would do like best songs of the decade, and when the 60s came up, like Gal Costa and Os Mutantes were on there, and that was my first encounter. And I feel like I've always listened to like compilations and stuff and haven't had the chance to like take a deep dive through it. Yeah, after listening to like kind of the link you had sent before we recorded today, it makes me want to like, because I like can't recall, other than Baby, I can't recall the names of any songs.
Well, the links I sent were I meant to really kind of like curate it and send you guys some more specific ones with the name
sure.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess I was just in a hurry and just sent you this big batch of like
no, it's fine.
4 records put into one.
But also, like, it's always it tend to stumble upon this stuff in like comps and everything, and I would like to drill down a little bit more and see like learn albums and stuff, because I know like there are a couple especially like celebrated ones, and yeah, I'm glad you brought this up because it's like a area of music I'd love to explore a little further.
One there's a compilation that I actually ended up buying a long time ago. I think it's just called Tropicalia Essentials. I don't
Mhm.
look like they have any more information than that on the iTunes. But if you're looking for a place to start, that's a really good one. It's just called Tropicalia Essentials. You can buy it on
Oh, cool.
iTunes because that's where I bought them.
Yeah.
I bought all these on iTunes years ago.
And I think that, and again, I'll reiterate what John recommended, was that Os Mutantes compilation from David Byrne.
Yeah, this
Is a
is
good
the. I'll just show you guys the cover real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with that is it's just the Os Mutantes. I feel like you're kind of missing
but it's also
like Gal
they're-
Costa.
The
and-
gateway, man.
Like
Yeah.
they're the gateway because they're also like Veloso was in the mix there. Like they're
Yeah.
like this is a couple different versions of different songs. Like here's a version of this song just after this is in 1968, just after they met Gil Gibraltar, and now they're in the movement more.
Yeah.
And then here's that same song in 71. 7 years later they're gonna disband and then they start up again and like basically they're still active
Yeah.
as a band, kind of because of this resurgence. Still going.
They beat out Whitest Boy Alive.
That's right.
From 2 weeks ago.
But that's it. Go listen to Tropicalia and enjoy it. I think I just love to just put this music on. Like you're having people over, you don't want music to kind of dominate. Just kind of put it down to 5 and have I love it. It's just great for.
Would this be good to do mushrooms too?
I don't know.
What about acid?
I wouldn't know.
What
Molly's?
about bath salts?
Let's talk angel dust.
Well, you can't make rules
It
about
puts
rules.
the
so-
record on.
But go out and listen to it. Enjoy ripping off another culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Capitalismo.
So
Make it your own.
listening.
My
to
rap
it-
funk band will
so
have to
someone-
cover this.
So digging in on YouTube, like Spotify, we kind of said like different places you can listen to them. There, I know for sure they're on Spotify. You can find them by
Yep.
artists.
Yeah, they're on Apple Music
YouTube,
as well.
same deal. Apple Music. There's probably like
Google Play.
I haven't checked the playlist, but Spotify might even have like a Tropicalia playlist.
They do.
So-
No, they have these records have been
stations.
compiled already. So you just type in Tropicalia and they
Drop
will,
in Typicalia.
And YouTube's, of course. You
Yep.
can always find this
Right.
stuff on YouTube.
Breaking the law.
Mhm.
Well, we're not breaking the
Yeah,
law.
we're just part of the
People
system.
who upload it
Yeah.
to YouTube for breaking the law. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, we're just on the receiving end.
You got nothing on me, copper.
Hey.
These songs ain't hot. I got them off the internet.
Yeah,
I just opened the Chrome window.
As long
I didn't type a thing.
as long as you're not listening to the YouTubes with 2 people on the turnstile, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like charging them a nickel to come into your little tent and listen on the laptop.
This is real nice music. It'd be a shame if something happened to you while you listen to it.
You want a slice of pizza
You want to slice the pizza? You get out of here. Get out of
with
here.
your music?
Pizzeria.
Pizza. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, I don't like when you appropriate from other cultures. Come on.
Come on. Get some more Tropicalia on your walls. That's our takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Any for real corners about Brazil?
Nope.
I have a really good friend who two good friends of mine who are from Brazil, and they live there again now, so I don't get to see them. When I first started listening to this music, I was like, "Hey guys, you heard of Tropicalia? It's so great!" And they were just like, "That's old stuff." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, I assume it could be.
Yeah, it's like I was like, hey, you heard of Frank Sinatra?
Yeah.
So
Hey man,
good.
you ever heard of the Doors? That's a Doors song.
You ever hear this John Brown's Body song? Oh boy.
I don't know what that is.
John Brown's body lies a moldering in the grave. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Pretty subversive.
Yeah.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. And he ain't gonna fight no more.
And also, my buddies from Brazil are the biggest Pavement fans you could imagine. Yeah.
So their stuff now is more like wow, 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 wow. That's the kind of Brazilian modern music.
Well, I also have 2 Brazilian friends, but they live.
Oh, brag
but,
much?
but they're still here. They live
Okay.
in Queens.
Oh, still
And
bragging.
one of them is a Brazilian jazz guitarist, and he's super
Oh,
good.
cool.
There you go.
Is he a jazz guitarist who's Brazilian, or does he play Brazilian jazz?
He's Brazilian, and he plays Brazilian jazz, and he's super good at it.
Cool.
Wow.
He travels the world playing for peoples.
Did he burn himself like Django Reinhardt and
No.
have to learn how to play with 3 fingers?
The
No.
claw
Django
method.
Reinhardt.
He didn't do that.
A lot more frets.
He still has
A lot
all
of
his
fretted
fingers,
chords.
so he's kind of cheating. But
We can fix that for him. Does he need to get some challenges in his life?
Is he a gypsy?
I don't know.
It's some real nice guitar playing you got going on. It'd be a shame if you didn't have a certain setback to really, increase your story.
Too many notes.
You should become his manager. I think you should become his manager.
His coach.
It's coach.
Feel the burn.
But yeah, if I can find his website, we can link it in there because it is related. I think.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Good pick, Keith. I
Oh,
love
Yeah,
this.
well
wait.
done.
I
Very
found it.
cultured. Wait,
Hold
what'd you
on.
find?
I think I found his
What were you
song.
searching for? Cerebro, find os mutantes.
Cerebro. Find the freak music.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Cerebro,
There's an-
appropriate all
It's so weird.
cultures.
There's an ad for it.
Cerebro. I'll take Swar. What happened to my Sean Connery? It's all gone.
Oh, that was good. That was
No,
good.
no.
Oh yeah. it was
You
right
mixed
on.
it. It's
Yes.
like the you tropicalia'd it.
Yeah, I
You mixed
tropicalia'd.
it up with it.
So clarish.
Oh no. But you actually it was supposed to be Hannibal Lecter in
Sean Connery?
Mm-hmm.
Big cat Hannibal. Wow.
Oh wait a minute,
So is Tropicalia better or worse than?
guys.
No,
We
no.
forgot about this song. Well, maybe this is the
No,
Willow.
it's Little Miss, Little Miss.
No, we didn't talk about this.
We never talked about this song.
I know. I can't wait till
I can handle this.
when
one.
will David
Little
Byrne
Miss,
get
Little
off his high horse and release the compilation for Spin Doctor?
I know, man.
I know. They need
I'm sorry,
some
is that not-
exposure.
Art, David.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, there was that time. Remember, they in the middle of Two Princes, they stopped and were like, they gave a speech saying, "This is this is Starbucks,
This is Starbucks. Try our venti latte.
right? You don't have to have whipped cream on a blended
Hey
drink."
guys, this is spring break. You guys should be having more fun.
Yeah, challenge.
Tampa, 19.
Hey guys, I hear it's Chad's 23rd birthday. Can everyone wish Chad a happy birthday?
That's from Roger.
There's saliva all over the letter.
Chad and Roger,
Two princes.
just two princes trying to make a podcast called
Yeah,
Two princes.
Radio Blab.
No popper.
Cerebro, show me the freak.
Cerebro, show me the most fucked up thing. Oh no, it's James Gum now. All the voices are mixed.
Cerebro shows me the mutants, or it gets the herd.
You got your Sean Connery and your what Buffalo Bill.
Oh no.
It's like you got yourself a Reese's cup of amazing cultural appropriation.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. It's a melting pot of monsters.
Good pick, Keith.
Thank you.
All kinds of listening places to find Tropicalia.
All of it. All
Hey,
of them.
everybody.
Anywhere with the speaker.
Cerebro, play me that Tropicalia.
Shazam, what is this?
Cerebro, open Shazam.
It is music, Professor.
God damn it. Yeah, no, it's Cerebro goes. It's a musical song, and I can't believe it.
All right.
feel I'm alone in this whole of existence. I know it takes time, but I'm losing my persistence. The distance is too far.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to our Hot 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 series. We are sweating our way out of the studio, but before we go, I was one of your hosts, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at LordJoe. You can find me on Instagram at @board_ghost. You can listen to my RPG podcast at boardghost.com. Keith, where can people find you?
Find me on everythingkeith.com. Julian?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at beautifuljules.com.
You can find me at adammater.com.
All right. Before we go out, Keith, you had something you wanted to ask me.
Yeah, is there anything new to you this week, Holt?
There is. Me and Jules went and saw a movie at the Draft House. It's been a little while since I was able to go out to the Draft House. Been kind of busy with the move, but now we're in. We said goodbye to our place just today.
Wow.
So we, that puts a
So many memories.
decade away.
Goodbye,
Nice.
Holt's place.
But did you have to burn it down?
Yes, with everyone in it, and no one will find the bodies. Then we pushed him into the pit where the Methodist hospital is going to go. So anyhow, we finally got to go to the Draft House again. Jules kicked our butts into gear, and we saw Alien Covenant, which is the second prequel to Alien. So it's basically the ride. It's the sequel to Prometheus and the prequel between those, between Prometheus and Alien. Who knows? Maybe they'll make more for some reason in between there, but
There's plenty of space. We don't know
Yep.
what time or year it is.
And yeah,
So are humans involved in this one?
yeah. I mean, basically, so your standard like.
When are they going to make one of these? Just done got
Did you
no
guys see
humans in it?
Prometheus?
I saw
Mhm.
Prometheus.
Okay, so you know how it ends with like
She gets on
with
the
Elizabeth
spaceship.
Shaw and David's head going in the spaceship to fly back to the giant white god planet, right?
Mhm.
So, or white humanoid godlike.
Or
beings,
leaving the planet,
Cedars.
right?
They're leaving the planet they're on to go back to the like source planet.
But they're in one of those space jockey ships.
yeah, the like
Mhm.
horn
The
looking thing.
horseshoe.
Yeah. So they're zipping back to there, and you kind of learn through you kind of see a proto alien get made in the
Yeah.
process of that whole like weird thing. And like David's kind of the villain. So that's all Prometheus.
Mhm.
And in this, there's a colony ship.
Wait, David's the villain?
Well, he's programmed by the old man, that guy
Right.
to
Pierce
get
plays.
the to get the alien technology.
Yeah,
Right.
at any cost,
Right.
basically. Yeah.
So in this, you have like it kind of starts with that dude talking to David again, the robot, like very early on.
It starts off with Wheeler. Is it Wheeland?
Yeah,
Wayland,
Wayland.
yeah.
Wayland.
But it's Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
And this is before he's even in the wheelchair. So that's like this is the very first scene. Like, and I don't. wanna
Oh,
get
got
too
it.
deep
So
in
it even flashes back
it
before.
flashes way back.
Okay.
And they just kind of show a little bit of interaction to get some of their like history going, and it's very
Okay.
beautiful. The whole movie's beautiful, like really nicely done.
Covenant or Prometheus?
Prometheus. Oh no,
Yeah.
Covenant. Prometheus, I thought was pretty beautiful
Yeah,
too.
I agree.
So I think they're both like. I mean, we're reaching a height where like there's a certain bar and there's a lot of money, and they're not going to like screw it up. So
well,
did it.
they are going to screw it up, but just not in that
Oh, shit.
department.
Keith's
Right.
Get Real Corner.
Exactly. So Covenant. I don't want
Oh,
to.
we saw Prometheus, right? We all
Yeah.
agree he fucked it up. Am I
mean, it was
the
just
only
like
one that
Just
thinks that?
nonsensical.
It was just schlocky. It was just like
Yeah.
an action movie.
Well, there
whatever.
you go. I mean, that's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Right. I mean, again, Alien and Aliens are are the height of those series, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't.
Mhm.
Everything
The
else
height
is,
of what?
that series, like.
Oh, Alien and Aliens, the movies
Yeah, the
are the
first
height
two.
of that franchise. Yeah,
Right.
I agree
Like,
with that.
that's
Yeah,
it.
I
Like,
think
you know,
everybody agrees.
Like
with that.
everything else is just sort of like pretenders to the crown or just kind of fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like
I like Alien 3 also. I think it can be.
I like
part of
Alien
the-
3 as well.
I
I
like
think
it,
can
but-
be in the.
But I
in
think
there.
Alien 3 it's like Return of the Jedi. I mean, really, like if you want to make a close comparison, Return of the Jedi is
Hold on.
fun.
So it's
Are
like
you
the best
saying-
Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
Return of
No,
the Jedi is a
Empire
bad thing.
Strikes Back is the best.
Here
Star
we
Wars.
Oh
go.
yeah, sorry.
gosh.
Agreed.
He's one of
Agreed.
these guys.
Wait. Why is Alien 3 like Return of the Jedi? I'm now.
'Cause
You know
there's-
what? Listen,
because of the
Jules,
little
Because it's
furry
the
Wookiee.
third one.
No, because it's also a little like sillier. Like it's looser in regards, and it goes into some weird, silly places. I don't know.
I
There's
like Lance Hendrickson.
the
It's
furry
been a long
guys
time since I've
dancing,
seen
the
it.
little teddy bears in Aliens.
That's in
I did
Return
it
of the. Although if
Well, Sigourney Weaver gained all that weight though to look like Jabba the Hutt for Alien 3.
Yeah.
I applaud that. I mean,
Right.
that makes Raging Bull look like a piece of cake.
yeah.
that would be neat though if there were aliens in the Star Wars universe.
So
They are in
That-
the Predator universe.
I know,
So
I
that's
know.
that's what. The only thing I want to spoil in this is that
Oh fuck! Do Predators show up?
no,
Oh,
right? But
come on.
but you got to think about the timeline, right? We're still like
Get to the chopper.
aliens don't exist as far as we know it. You know what I mean? We saw a proto-alien in Prometheus.
Okay,
Is Arnold
and I won't
Schwarzenegger
tell-
born at the end of this one? Like,
Yeah,
He bursts out of the chest
like
of Michael
a
Fassbender.
face hugger implants itself in a guy's bicep.
I flex too hard.
yeah, it goes into his GNC powder. Eat it by the spoonful.
Drop a dumbbell in there.
Yeah. So, but the idea is like I won't tell you whether there are or not in this movie, but the idea is that there aren't aliens yet in Prometheus, right? That's kind of made clear a little
Yeah.
bit in Covenant, right? You'll go watch Covenant. It's very fun, and it's probably better than Prometheus in some regards. It's
Yeah.
Oh, it better be.
tighter.
Okay.
There's a few
Do
silly
they have like really the best scientists in all the world, and when they see this stuff, they're like, "I'm gonna poke it."
Not
I'm a
there's a
scientist.
little bit of that.
it's a
but
little
not
more
as much.
it's a little more like the idiots are the soldiers kind of thing, and then there's also like the human
And right
human-
around Memorial
Dude, come
Day.
on, yeah,
Oh,
Right
really.
around Memorial Day.
That's what's
watched it
wrong
on
with this
Memorial Day.
country.
You know what, if Trump can sing the national anthem, then I can do what I
I'll
want.
eat this hat.
I'll do what I want.
Nothing matters no more.
Yeah, this is my America, MAGA. So fuck. So the so anyhow, the aliens are in the movie. They aren't in the movie. So anyhow, there are. You see the movie, and you'll find out. They're scientists.
your web
and they're
of
pretty,
lies,
It's pretty
Holt.
like basically it's a colony crew with like a colony ship with a skeleton crew just to kind of like keep things chugging. They kind of are supposed to wake up, check everything out, go back to sleep when the problem
For like long term or
right,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because they're it's like a multi-jump situation with a robot kind of maintaining.
Oh,
things.
sure, yeah.
They run into trouble and they got to they all get waken
Did they
up. and
bump
gotta
into
sort
that
some out.
ship?
No, you'll watch it and see. What's
Will
the
I,
dude?
though?
Danny McBride. What's the yeah?
Wait, Danny McBride's in it?
Yep.
Danny McBride's in it, and he's probably like the softest part of the whole. Like it's a little over the top, and like
I thought he was just fine.
he is a little soft, in my opinion. But anyhow,
Well,
I
he
don't.
didn't work out for the movie. is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he
Give him a
means.
break. Not everybody's Arnold Schwarzenegger, man.
So anyhow, again, so all I'm going to say after this is that's the timeline. There's aliens exist in the far-flung future. So how does a predator have an alien skull in Predator 2?
Because they have existed before.
No,
Yes.
no, because Covenant will
My
deny.
theory,
that.
my theory is that the predators also travel through time to fight.
No,
the best.
no, this is my thing.
Oh, whoa.
They aren't
Put
predators.
that thing away.
You ready?
Oh my God, Holt took out a gun.
Yeah. This is my truth. So they are predators.
Oh.
Their timeline their timeline runs backwards to everyone else.
Set up that joke. Oh, okay,
No,
good.
their timeline runs opposite everything else in the universe. So they work their way in the other
So
direction.
they talk like,
Yeah, that's why you can't understand them.
So there's
You can understand them because they say, over here.
No, but they say that backwards. They say
No.
over here.
No, when they're running, you hear.
Yeah, they make Aphex Twin albums.
Yeah, and then they go over here. Anytime.
But yeah, so they are the only way that they could have a skull is if their timelines ran backwards to everyone else's. That's my conceit.
Holy shit.
Predators.
No, see.
All right, everyone take your bath salts.
So here's the deal. The god type creatures, right?
The Promethean.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
white.
They
human
make
warriors.
worlds. They're
Engineers,
seeders of the world.
White
right?
Walkers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the engineers.
Engineers. They've known that this alien thing is a problem. That's why they are willing to shut down a whole planet when they see that something's gone south, because they know that this thing is possible. I think that so Prometheus, the whole idea is that these guys are like once things go south and there's a chance of this like this mutation that becomes the alien, they just blow up the whole planet and take off. That was the kind of the whole thing. It's just like if this At any minute, we can just destroy it all because we know that there's this
Oh,
potential.
that's why they had the big like
Mhm.
planet gun or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. That's why they.
Well,
and that's why the guy was trying
that
to blow it
explicit
up.
in Prometheus? I don't
No,
really remember
nothing's
that.
explicit in that movie.
Well,
Those guys don't speak
yeah,
Well,
English.
some things are.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so the idea
stupid
is
stuff.
that the experiment never was allowed to run its course, and that it would require a certain amount of.
Oh, now you're getting into spoiler.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. I'm not.
Just
Uh-oh.
leave it.
I'll leave it. So
Go see the movie.
go
Let's
see
talk
the
about
movie.
this off the air.
If
You know
if
what?
you like alien
but
stuff,
you know what?
go
If
check it
you're
out.
a
It's fun.
predator, you've seen the movie, and you're learning for the first time that I've seen the movie.
Yeah, so it's not the best alien movie, but it's an all right alien movie, and it was entertaining to me.
It's better than Willow.
No,
Oh,
as
really?
good as good as Willow.
Willow.
As
Yeah.
good as Willow.
Willow Covenant.
Not quite as good as Willow.
It's shorter than Willow.
Is it?
The aliens are shorter than Willow?
See now, like I just,
It's got
I
Michael
wish you
Fassbender
could
in
like
it
see
again.
the alien version of every movie ever made.
Well, so but what
Like
my
it would just
conceit
be,
is,
so
like
interesting.
we should have different directors do it. Like have Wes Anderson's Alien.
yeah.
Like just have
Wes
different
Anderson?
guys-
No,
Yeah, Bill Murray is the android.
Tim Burton's Alien.
Oh man, no, because
Quentin
we were just talking about
Tarantino's
Alien Resurrection, which is just pile of garbage.
But I'm saying lean into it. Like
No,
you
but
should
see-
have gone further.
No, the movie's got to be just like it's any other, like it's a different genre and everything. But then
Paul
all of a
Verhoeven's
sudden,
Alien.
aliens
Yeah.
burst out of somebody's chest. Like,
Well, if
Oh,
you
like
think of
in,
Alien 1 and Alien 2 were two kind of different genres, even though they're both sci-fi.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
was like a military movie, the other one was like a horror movie.
And Mel
But they're
Brooks
still,
made
like-
that movie, Jules. He made the movie you're describing.
Yep.
It was a
Hello,
it was
my
a,
honey.
It was a
Hello, my
comical
baby.
farce about space.
Yep.
And there's an alien just
And he
under
goes,
it when you least
Jeffrey,
expect it.
who was Jeffrey Rush? He goes, "Oh no, not again." Hello,
No, but
my
I don't want it to
ragtime
be funny.
gal.
It wasn't
Send me a
funny.
kiss
It
by
was
a wire.
terrifying.
It actually, I saw that Real Talk Corner. We're there.
Oh,
we made it there.
Yes.
Enter. So Real Talk Corner, I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I was like going through the
It
TV.
tells the interesting anecdote.
And that movie was on TV. And
which one?
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs?
No.
Yeah.
And it was right at the scene. I couldn't tell it was supposed to be a comedy because it was almost like right before that happens, where the guy eats the pie or whatever he eats, and it happens, and I was just horrified. And I shut it off before he started singing. So I thought, and then like years later, I saw Spaceballs, and I was like, wait a minute. If I just left the TV on instead of like trembling in terror.
Check, please.
Yeah. Yeah. This ends Adam's Real Corner.
That's why you
That's
can't,
a funny Adam
you can't
Drill
take
corner.
take it out of context.
No, like if you just seen Lord Helmet playing with his dolls without realizing there's context to it.
Good.
Yeah. So, gang, that concludes our hot topic at Hot Topic. Recorded live at Hot Topic. They're kicking us out of the mall.
Sorry, I'm not finished getting my pink highlights in yet, y'all.
Adam, thanks again for being on. It's
Thanks
always
for
a
having
blast
us,
to have
guys.
you on
Yeah.
here.
A lot of laughs and learned a lot.
So we'll get you back on soon enough.
Yeah, and keep
Yeah.
us posted about the Olmsberg project. I'm
Yes.
really excited about.
Oh, wait.
Are you guys gonna have a cool music video?
Oh, that's a good question. If we can swing it. If you look on YouTube, you can see some bootleg footage of us playing last fall. So, yeah.
Sweet.
And it's Olmsberg with Berg spelled like Pittsburgh. So OLMSBURGH. H at the end.
So next week on New to You, we're going to start a new topic of fantasy, high fantasy specifically, and I'm going to start it with an exploration by J.R.R. Tolkien of the story of Culvero, who is one of the only tragic figures in the Kalevala Finnish Nordic oral tradition stories. There are 50 runes, and this one deals specifically with this little character and his tragedy of sadness. So you can find, they just put in print Tolkien's look at this, and a lot of his characters are, like Gandalf, are based on these Finnish legends and his oral histories and oral traditions, really oral mythology, creation myths, and so he was using this as a basis for creating his own legend and mythology. So yeah, that's my pick. All right, so to find out more about the hot topics that we went over in this episode and in the previous episodes of this run, go to newshow.com. Follow us on Twitter at New to You Show. You can subscribe on iTunes or your favorite listening portal. Leave us a review on iTunes if you get a moment. That'll help us get more aware to people.
Raise awareness.
Raise
about it.
awareness. You know what? We're raising money and awareness.
Ask your doctor if New to You is right for you.
Yeah.
Sarah McLachlan's going to play a sad song to raise awareness for us.
Doodle, two princes here before you. Two princes who adore you. Little miss, can't be found. All right. Gang, as always, it may not be new,
But perhaps.
maybe, just
perhaps,
maybe,
maybe.
it's new to you.
New
to you.
Explosion sound.
Screamers.
Bringing it on.
It's all about the music. This pitiful life is 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 all about the music.
With him.